Hey guys, I'm Sarah Beth and I want to talk to you today about ulcerative colitis and pregnancy. At the time that I'm filming this video, I am 17 weeks pregnant and I've had, at least 17 weeks to experience ulcerative colitis and pregnancy, but also ulcerative colitis and trying to conceive and ulcerative colitis and even thinking about being pregnant. So I want to share some of my experiences with you, some of my tips and some of my advice and things that I've learned along the way. If you're thinking about getting pregnant and you have ulcerative colitis, first thing to do is talk to your doctor. Talk to your gastroenterologist about any concerns that you might have, any questions that you might have. Just tell them to fill you in. Because if you go straight to the internet first thing, there's a lot of information on the internet and a lot of scary information and some false information on the internet. So go straight to your doctor first to find out what is in store for you. You can talk to your doctor about your options for ulcerative colitis in pregnancy, medications that are safe, during pregnancy, for breastfeeding, what happens during a flare-up in pregnancy and remission in pregnancy, what you should be doing when you're trying to conceive, what you should be doing during pregnancy, but also during all of that, trying to conceive and getting pregnant and being pregnant and giving birth. Hopefully you have a really open communication with your doctor anyway, because they're going to be very helpful throughout that entire process. When I met with my doctor a little over a year ago, he suggested that I got back on a medication because I had a low-grade inflammation that was lasting like 9 months. And by low-grade inflammation, I mean that I wasn't really bleeding consistently, but I was having a lot of mucus in my bowel movements and a little bit of cramping. It was nothing like a flare-up to me. Like I was like, oh, I can live with this, that's fine, whatever. I'd obviously like it to go away. But he explained to me that that was a low-grade inflammation and that could hamper my TTC when I did eventually want to start trying to conceive. We started a plan on medication that was safe to take during pregnancy and after pregnancy, so I started taking it then. Within days of taking that medication, I felt 100% normal again, so I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I obviously have respect for Eastern and Western approaches, especially when they can balance out in medication and healing the body. There are other things you can do when trying to get pregnant to increase your chances of getting pregnant, or things that you can do before you even want to start trying to conceive just to make you more prepared. And that would be like lifestyle tweaks, like decreasing your alcohol, decreasing your caffeine, increasing your stress relieving practices like meditation and yoga, increasing your hydration, eating better, cutting out the processed foods. All the things I just mentioned are going to help you anyway when it comes to ulcerative colitis, but these are things to definitely start now if you do plan on getting pregnant in the future. My doctor told me that when women who have ulcerative colitis get pregnant, from what they've seen, a third of those women get better and stay in remission the whole time. A third of those women stay the same, and a third of those women get worse and fall into a deep flare. And it's kind of a crapshoot. But hopefully what you do beforehand might help you during pregnancy so that you don't fall into a super deep flare. But if you do, there are options, and that's why you want to talk to your doctor. Let's talk about prenatal vitamins. The prenatal vitamins that I started taking before I got pregnant were Rainbow Light prenatals. I started taking these about a year before I wanted to conceive. Actually, like a year and a half before I wanted to conceive. And the reason for that was because, one, I felt like I was deficient. I was having problems with like super chapped lips and my skin and my hair. And so I wanted to start taking a multivitamin. But also it was suggested that I get into prenatals because eventually I wanted to have a kid anyway, or multiple. This Rainbow Light prenatal was something that I found through forums, ulcerative colitis forums, of a lot of people saying that it wasn't giving them problems. Like, a lot of prenatals have iron in them, this one does too, but the iron was upsetting their stomach, and with UC, like, that's no fun. So this has iron in it and it has not upset my stomach. I've been taking it for a year and a half and it's been great. The pills are kind of big, but if you have UC and you're used to taking pills, that's not a big deal. I also started taking the prenatal DHA. I only started taking this one once I did get pregnant. It's a good little combination here. Something else you might want to talk to your doctor about when supplementing and starting vitamins is folic acid. I had a recommendation to take extra folic acid because of the state of my colon, not being able to digest or absorb folic acid. So I also take extra folic acid on top of what's in my prenatal. Talk to your doctor about your options there and how much you should be taking. When it comes to your early pregnancy, if you've already gotten pregnant, congratulations. Make sure that you stay hydrated, take your prenatals, take your medication, and then do your best to take care of yourself, because that first part of pregnancy, the first trimester, can be a doozy. The nausea and the exhaustion like hit me like a ton of bricks. I had no idea that it was coming. I mean, I did because people talk about it, but I just didn't imagine what it would actually be like. And I spent several weeks laying around feeling like total crap. And during those weeks, I had a complete aversion to anything healthy, did not want vegetables. Like the idea of vegetables made me sick. And before that, I was eating like steamed vegetables and meat, and it was like protein and produce was my diet. But it started flipping when I started getting super nauseous and all that like morning sickness or all day sickness. I flipped my diet from protein and produce to carbs. And even though I'm gluten-free and all the carbs were like gluten-free carbs, it doesn't mean that it was like good for me. It actually put me into a flare-up. And that was like my body's way of reminding me of like, hey, you can't get away with that. You need to stay healthy. You need to nourish yourself and nourish your baby and find ways to do it. So instead of steaming vegetables, I would roast them. And for some reason, roasting vegetables was tasty and I could do it and I could take it down. I just had to get creative. And actually during that time, I was having a lot of homemade soup, which was nice because it was satisfying and I could take it down and it was light and easy. So make sure that you take care of yourself during early pregnancy and keep in touch with your doctors. Your digestion will slow down. It's a very, very common symptom of pregnancy, but that's all the more reason to stay hydrated. Because if your digestion slows down, and a lot of women experience constipation, you don't want to be one of those women, especially with ulcerative colitis. So stay hydrated, drink a ton of water. The amount is like 3 to 4 liters a day for a pregnant woman. Work your way up to 4 liters a day. I'm serious. And even though there are tips out there that say that you shouldn't drink water at night so that you don't have to get up to pee, you also have ulcerative colitis, and I'm telling you, you should be drinking water at night. Drink water during the day, drink water at night, get up to pee, do what you have to do. I made the mistake of thinking that I don't want to get up to pee tonight, so I'm just not going to drink water at night, and I ended up getting really dehydrated because it was like 8 hours of no water and my body apparently needed it that bad. So drink your water all day long. Something else that can help with your digestion is probiotics. The raw natural probiotics like sauerkraut and kimchi might not be something that you're that comfortable taking because they're not pasteurized, but talk to your doctor about what probiotic pills you can take. I take 2 different probiotic pills. One is Saccharomyces boulardii, probably butchered that, but I call them SBCs. And the other one is VSL number 3. Saccharomyces boulardii is over the counter. It's wonderful for giving my bowel movements a nice soft serve texture. And then the VSL number 3 is like my miracle probiotic, and it is heavy duty, and it's the only probiotic out there that's actually been tested for ulcerative colitis. So if you have ulcerative colitis and you're pregnant, you might be able to get your insurance to cover VSL number 3 because it's expensive. Just ask your doctor to help you, ask your pharmacist to help you. I got them to cover VSL number 3 for me. I didn't even think that was possible, but it worked. And now I have a whole fridge full of it, and I mix it in with my smoothie every morning, and I'm just really, really glad that it's a part of my daily routine. So stay hydrated and take probiotics if you're experiencing anything going on with your digestion. If you're in remission, there's no reason why you can't have the birth that you want to have. You can give birth at home, you can give birth in a hospital, you can have a C-section, you can do what you want to do, whatever that is. Be mindful that you need to maintain your remission, you need to maintain your health from the very beginning so that you can have that health in the end. Even with flare-up, though, that shouldn't affect you that much. And this is why you talk to your doctors. This is why you can talk to your midwives, your OBs about your options. Because for me, when I was in flare-up during that first trimester, they weren't that concerned. They've had women before that had ulcerative colitis and it wasn't that big of a deal and it didn't affect birth. But there's a certain line that if the flare-up got bad enough, then there's some concern. And if the flare-up got bad enough where I couldn't take anything down or it was bad enough for I to be hospitalized, then, they're probably not going to want to see me there and they're going to want me to transfer to a hospital. So these are reasons to talk to your OB, talk to your gastro, talk to your midwife, whoever it is that you're working with about your options for birth, and then to see if what you want to do is possible, and most likely it is. But also keep in mind that birth plans are just birth plans. This might be what you want to do, but it's baby's birth. And the most important thing is that you have your baby outside of you and healthy, and you're healthy. So if at some point your doctors tell you like, sorry, we're gonna have to go for a C-section, or sorry, we're gonna have to do this or that, or we're gonna have to induce you, you need to at some point learn to go with the flow and practice some acceptance. And that's where yoga can come in, because yoga can teach you how to be more mindful and practice acceptance and practice going with the flow and being less reactive. When I'm in postpartum, I'll probably have some more tips or more things to say about ulcerative colitis and pregnancy, but this is just like a part one, I guess we could say, for options and tips and my experience and my advice for you. Please add any other tips or any other advice down in the comments below. Add questions or just say hi. Let me know how far along you are. And thank you so much for watching this video. I'm also gonna do a ulcerative colitis and postpartum video when the time is right. As I said, I'm 17 weeks right now, so that's quite a ways away. All right, so have a good day. Thank you for watching. Bye.